been with the Pope at every step in his journey. What did the papal visit mean to you?
One word I'm going to use is miraculous. It's a big word to use, but I pick it out for one event. If you keep in mind that 500 yards from where our ancestors died for their conviction of the truth of the Blessed Sacrament and the gift to the Church of the papacy, 80,000 people knelt in adoration of the Blessed Sacrament with the Pope. That's pretty amazing.
What really impressed me, I suppose, most of all, was when the Pope went out to meet the young people and to hear the cheers and the young man that welcomed the Pope. Everybody was very, very impressed by him.
All the way from Glasgow, right the way to Birmingham via London and all the rest of it. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was far exceeded any expectations that I had of the whole thing.
I remember before the Pope came, a lot of people were very apprehensive and they were wondering, was it a mistake really? But I felt, having met him in Rome, each bishop had a quarter of an hour with him. And every one of us came out from that visit on a high, because we felt that we were in the presence of a very holy man. He was very gentle, a very good communicator, a great listener, great eye contact. And I felt, I think he'll win the nation. And I feel he did just that.
Talking to the people in Glasgow itself and meeting them at Bellahouston, they were so proud. And I think there were 4 words at that Mass that hit me, and they stuck with me all the way through the course of the visit. Exuberant, vibrant, reflective, prayerful. All the events were like that. There was a real vibrancy, there was a real exuberance. People were really rejoicing in the successor of St. Peter being among us. And there was a real lively, vibrant buzz about all the crowds, particularly when it came to singing and greeting and participating. There was a real vibrancy about their attitude. But at the same time, as soon as the Holy Father began to speak, there was a real hush, and many of the reporters at Bellahouston really commented on that they've been to lots and lots of rock festivals and seen people carrying on, lots of noise, dancing and all the rest of it, but they'd never experienced that sudden transition from this exuberant vibrancy to a real quiet prayerfulness.
What struck me about Hyde Park was the silence, about 80,000 people there, and a terrific silence for about 5 minutes, and when the Blessed Sacrament was exposed. And I think that teaches us a lot about the importance of silence and education in silence and the need for stillness in the midst of our busy lives.
80,000 people just suddenly becoming silent before the Blessed Sacrament. And when else on BBC television has there been broadcast 5 minutes of complete silence with all the cameras focused on the Blessed Sacrament? Isn't that fantastic? I mean, it really is.
What do you think it means for vocations, for the people of our countries?
There will be a short-term effect. I think we've seen that. More people are going to things, very positive responses. But I think, curiously, the very nature of the way Pope Benedict spoke is that he sees things as being gentle, courteous, thoughtful, and gradual. And if you look at his interview on the plane coming over, in one level he's a very unspectacular person. And the last thing he wants is to sweep people off their feet. So he invites us to pondering, to contemplation. The fruits we will see, the real fruits, a lot further down the line. But I think what was very striking, very small thing, but very important, how after every homily there was silence. It wasn't the sort of silence saying, now do what I've just said. It was a silence saying, just think over what I've just said. And I think that's why it's going to be slow, but fruitful and very interesting.
It will give them, first and foremost, a lot of insight into prayer and the importance of prayer and the importance of stillness and quiet in their daily lives, and not to be afraid to enter into the struggle of discerning their vocation. I think realizing that it's not always clear-cut, that They have to do a lot of listening, getting in touch with what is going on deep within them. If you like, letting Christ into the turmoil and the confusion and the questioning, and in that time of stillness and silence, I think they'll be able to discern what their vocation in life is.
I think that the Lord is continually calling people. This might act as a catalyst to help people to hear, but I think I think he's been calling them already, and he continues to call people. So maybe the visit of the Holy Father could indeed act as a catalyst, help to facilitate that.
Somebody compares this time of stillness and quiet to the waiting room of the divine. And it is in that stillness and quiet, in that waiting room, that we come face to face with God, face to face with ourselves. And it is from that waiting room that we go out and we evangelize and we touch the world with our lives and transform it. And it's there also we discern what our mission in life is all about, what our vocation is all about.
He gave lots of invitations, but he gave a very strong invitation at Twickenham. Invited all our young people to be saints. He says that's what I want to do. And then he invited at Hyde Park people to hear the Lord speaking to their heart. And then he began to talk about priesthood. Well, he first of all talked about marriage, actually. He talked about marriage and then priesthood, religious life, teaching profession, and all the rest of it. I think, first of all, Peter calling in the name of the church is a powerful act. So it's going to have some effect, and maybe people who weren't listening very well, and or perhaps were frightened, a little timid to respond to what they felt was this call inside, might now have the courage to respond. Let's hope so. But it's up to us too to build on it, not to be complacent, and to continue working to help people to hear the call of the Lord and to have the courage to come forward.